place to charge your spiritual batteries so you can go the whole day in full Krishna consciousness. It's like before we head out for our day's activities, we make sure that our mobile phone is fully charged, isn't it? If you don't charge your mobile phone, what happens? You get out there, an important phone call comes, you pick it up, and it goes dead. I should have charged it, forgot to charge it. So this is you charge your mobile phone. What's more important ultimately, your mobile phone or your own consciousness? Sometimes we give more importance to our mobile phone than we do to our consciousness. This is called stupidity, or idiocy, or ignoramusness. We give more importance to our mobile phone than we do to our own consciousness. I gotta make sure my mobile phone's charged, but I didn't chant my round. You better chant your rounds with full attention. That's charging your spiritual batteries. It's more important than your damn mobile phone. More important. But mobile phone is okay for Krishna's service also. The point is you have to learn how to connect with Krishna. Otherwise you're simply throwing your life away. You're just wasting everything. Simply wasting everything. If you do not learn how to connect with Krishna fully, totally, completely, at every minute, you're wasting everything. Don't remain a halfway devotee, you know. What does a halfway devotee have to do? He has to take birth again. Until you become a full-on devotee, you stay in the material world to satisfy your material desires. So don't remain halfway devotee. Go all the way. Pure devotional service. Shuddha bhakti. That is our goal. Completely absorbed in pure devotional service. That I know no one but Krishna is my Lord. And he shall remain so, even if he handles me roughly by his embrace. Even if he remains absent from me. He is my worshipful Lord unconditionally. We have to learn from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu how to embrace the mood of pure devotional service. My Lord, you can punish me, whatever you want to do with me, it doesn't matter. Now I am surrendered unto you. You do with me as you like. You can kill me, you can punish me, I don't care what you do with me. I'm your property, and you do whatever you want to with me. See, that is Krishna consciousness. You are my worshipful Lord without any conditions. Not that you have to give me this, you have to give me that, and then I will be your devotee. That's business, that's not devotion. A business deal. There's no business deal with Krishna. You either surrender to him or you don't, that's all. You either fully surrender to Krishna or you're not fully surrendered to Krishna. The difficulty is we're not surrendered fully to Krishna. We're trying to do some business deal with him. That's our problem. That's our problem. That's why we're not happy. Fully happy. So we got to kick out this mercantile mentality. Trying to wheel and deal with Krishna to get what we want out of him. Simply, Krishna, now you take whatever you want from me, I'm yours. Do with me whatever you like. I'm your Papa said, in that nice prayer he said, now I'm your puppet in your hands. You make me dance, make me dance, make me dance as you like. This mood we must do. I'm simply a puppet in Krishna's hands. He can do whatever he wants to with me. Doesn't matter. His choice. Whatever pleases him. He wants me to keep me in the material world, that's all right. I'll serve him here. He wants me to take me back to his abode, that's all right. I'll serve him there. Doesn't matter. Simply, I always want to be fully connected with Krishna, with every ounce of my very being. I want to be absolutely, totally resonating with Krishna at every minute. You see? This consciousness conquers God. Krishna is unconquerable, ajita, but he becomes jita or conquered by the love of the devotee. This is an amazing thing. God is the supreme, all-powerful personality of Godhead, but his devotee becomes more powerful than Krishna by his love. Krishna becomes captured by the love of the devotee. So, when you agree to be fully captured by God, then God will be captured by you. You become your personal property. That person who owns and controls everything throughout all of existence, he becomes your property. Therefore, the pure devotee is the virtual owner of everything. He virtually owns everything. And Krishna becomes his property, and everything belongs to Krishna. So if everything belongs to Krishna, and Krishna becomes the property of the devotee, then the devotee becomes the virtual owner of everything. He becomes, richer than anyone has ever been in the history of the universe. So that is the riches we're after. Money we can use in Krishna's service, that's our way. But ultimately, we have no desire for money. We only desire bhakti. That's it. And if pure bhakti is there, then unlimited money will come. Unlimited money will be available to us. We develop pure devotional service. This is Prabhupada started with 40 rupees. He went to millions and millions of dollars. Simply because he had that mood of pure devotional service. So let us wholeheartedly, enthusiastically, with great determination, patience, embrace this mood of pure devotional service. There's really nothing else worthy of desiring except for pure devotional service. That one desire, you see. Let us have that one pointed consciousness. Avishayatmaka buddhi samadhanam niyate tasashanam. See what it is. Oh beloveds, those who are in this path are resolute in purpose, and their determination is one. O beloved child of the Kuru, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many-branched. So either you're resolute or you're irresolute. See? Either you're totally fixed that I have one desire only, and it's Krishna. And your consciousness is completely focused, you have a laser consciousness that can burn through all the modes of material nature. Boom. Laser is very powerful, can burn through metal. The more powerful is the laser-like consciousness of that person who is completely absorbed in pure devotional service. His consciousness burns through all the modes of material nature. His consciousness can, such a person, Prabhupada explains, actually has the power and the potency to deliver the entire universe. He is called Jagat Guru. Prabhupada explains that one who is completely free of any offenses, totally free of all the offenses against the holy names, who purely chants Krishna's name, he becomes Jagat Guru, and under his influence the whole world takes up Krishna consciousness. So just see the power of pure devotional service. You see. One pure devotee can deliver the entire universe. Actually, deliver the whole material world, finally one universe. One pure devotee can deliver the whole, every living entity throughout the entire material world. So just see why we should be anchoring to pure devotional service. The more we awaken our Krishna consciousness, the more we will have the power and the potency to awaken the Krishna consciousness in the hearts of others. So we should have compassion upon the suffering people of this world, for no other reason to become Krishna conscious. For their sake we become Krishna conscious, purely Krishna conscious. I mean, what's going on is horrible. You want to see, just look at the news any day of the week. You can see the latest murder, the latest terrorist attack. Just the other day, the Muslims decided to go after the Christians in Pakistan. They went to a park and the women and children enjoying the park, and they slaughtered them in the park because they're Christians, Christian Pakistanis. They mass murdered women and children in the park. That's what's going on in the world. It's not animal. It's less. You can't say it's animalistic. It's less than animalistic. It's absolutely sick and barbarian what's happening on this planet more and more. What happens in Brussels last week is an explosion in the airport. The terrorists came in and blew up their bombs in the airport. So many people were killed and seriously wounded. It's going on every day. Why? Because they're not putting God in the center. Some say, well, they're doing it for Allah, aren't they? No, they're not actually doing it for Allah. In the name of Allah, they're pushing for their own political agendas. Somebody asked me, well, the Muslims go back, the terrorists go back to Godhead because they're thinking of Allah at the time of death. They're not thinking of Allah at the time of death. Simply they have their own political agendas. And they're using, you use God for your own sense gratification. Everyone's guilty of it. The Christians, the Muslims, the Hindus, the Sikhs, the Jains, the Buddhists, the Jews. Of course the Buddhists are atheistic, but everybody is utilizing God for their sense gratification. They don't know back to God. As long as you're putting yourself in the center and using God to satisfy your desires, you won't think of yourself at the time of death, that's all. Because you're using God for your own self. You know, Father in heaven, give us our daily bread. You know, give me my daily chapatis. Is it? Just like that song. You know. Give me a Cadillac, a brand new Cadillac, replete with Michelin tires. Give my wife a new silk saree. Give my kids a Harvard education. Give me a house by the sea. Om Jaya Jagadish Hari. It's going on the Hindus, the Christians, the Sikhs, everybody. They're approaching God. Give me, give me, give me, give me. Give me, give me, give me, give me. Everyone's saying guilty of the same thing. So they don't go back to God. They don't. Only that person is fully submitted. Now, my dear Lord, I'm your property. You can take everything away. It's okay. Just please let me always remember you. My only prayer is, you can take everything away, but give me this one thing. I can always remember you. I can always serve you. I can always love you. I can always glorify you. That's all. You see. Those are the persons qualified in the kingdom of God. There's one joke in this connection. There was the degraded fellow. He was worried that he would go to hell all the time on that. So he went to church one Sunday morning, put $5 in collection plate. Now I'm protected. I go into my nonsense, I'm protected. I gave $5 in collection plate to the church. No, I have no problem now, I'm saved. So the time of death, the Yamadutas came and took him to hell. He said, wait a minute, you can't take me to hell. I gave $5 at church. They said, well, we'll check on it. They took him to the gate of heaven. And they said, just wait here. They went in and talked to God, and they came back out. $5 bill in their hand. And he said, what did he say? What did he say? He said, give me his $5 back and tell him to go to hell. So, you can't cheaply qualify yourself to go back to God. It's not some cheap thing. Well, I got initiated. I got initiated. I chanted most of my rounds. I follow most of the regulated principles. At least 3 of them, I chanted my rounds most of the time. Most of the time I follow all the regulated principles, Well, where is your heart? If your heart is really with Krishna, you will chant these 16 rounds without fail. If you really love Krishna, you won't engage in illicit sex. Say, well, I'm married. No. It's very clearly stated that even in married life, sex is only for procreation. It's not for recreation. Brahmacharis, They're called Grihastha Brahmacharis. They only have sex for producing kids. Otherwise, they're just as strict as any brahmachari in the brahmachari ashram. You see? That is Krishna consciousness. So you want to qualify to go back to Gada, you better get serious about this process. Don't take it cheaply or whimsically. You got to get really serious, and if you do, you will taste the sweetest nectar every minute. I guarantee you, or double your money back. Is there any questions? See if our internet audience has any questions. Any questions from y'all? Yeah.
I was just wondering in the purport, like it was said that you should worship Krishna, Radha Krishna at home.
Yes, that's for people who are not living near temples.
Yeah, so and Prabhupada introduced very much the Gurnitai at home, but doesn't matter whether it is Gurnitai or Radha Krishna?
There's a big difference between worshipping Radha Krishna and Gurnitai. Radha Krishna worship is very, very strict standard. You have to wake them every morning, you have to bathe them, you have to dress them, you have to put them to rest at night, you have to change their clothes at night. It's a very high standard. I don't recommend, for my disciples, I don't recommend they get Radha Krishna deities. If they want to have deities, I tell them to get Gurnitai, because Gurnitai is very lenient. You have Radha Krishna, you have to worship them the whole life. Even if you travel, you have to carry your deities and worship them in a hotel or wherever. You can't neglect them. Radha Krishna is very strict standard. So it's better to get Gurnitai. But if you're living near the temple, Prabhupada wanted to just come and worship at the temple, not have separate worship at home. It's Prabhupada's standard. We should all worship here together at the temple. Not to be everybody's in their little separate worship in their apartment. No, we probably want in a better community. But everybody would come together at the temple, worship together. Deity worship is for those who are living separate from the temple. If you have deities, then you have to do both. You get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, get all your rounds done, come to the temple, worship the deities in the temple, and then go on and worship your deities at home. I mean, it's not recommended to have deities at home if you're living in a devotee community by Prabhupada. Because he didn't want devotees to skip the temple worship in the name of home worship. Prabhupada definitely did not want that. Well, I'm doing my puja at home. No. He wants us all to come together and worship together. That's Prabhupada's instruction. Otherwise, it's no more Krishna conscious movement. Everybody doing their own little thing. There's no this kind of movement. Everybody doing their own little thing. Yeah.
The purport here talked about that one should live in a temple community.
Absolutely.
I was just thinking, how can we improve the dynamics of the temple community as a whole, and if there are some great examples that we can refer to?
Do you all go out, does the whole temple go out on Harinam regularly together?
Yeah, vegetarian Saturday we have.
Huh?
Vegetarian Saturday we do. This vegetarian Saturday we have.
Wednesday and Saturday you have Maha Harinam?
It's a long time since we had big Harinams together.
That would really help your community a lot. Everybody goes out on Harinam together. There's a tremendous potency for bringing you all together.
Yeah.
You're all out there on the street singing, dancing, and distributing some books. Devotees on the side distributing some books. Mantra cards. Get a nice little portable sound system, you can put wireless microphone, and you go out there and just completely fill the whole area with holy names. You all go out as a family, the whole community goes out on Maha Harinam at least once a week, you see. It will have a tremendous impact to bring you all together and feel that you're one family. It will really increase the family of Maharinam at least once a week. Like every Saturday. Saturday go out and preach, Sunday. Saturday Mahaharinam and Sunday the feast. really that had the best impact. Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai. Next question, yeah.
It's mentioned about the activities, devotional activities done in a temple. It's very powerful. In the verse, it's mentioned
It says
that activities, devotional activities performed in a temple or sacred
they're
place,
enhanced.
they're very powerful.
Yes.
And then it's also recommended to worship deity at home. So is that
Home worship is
that
home worship is for people living away from the temple.
yeah? But what is the difference, like the potency? Or
It's more powerful in the temple.
Yeah.
Living away from the temple is, there's not the same potency. It's more difficult to be Krishna conscious. If you're just a householder couple living 50 miles away from the temple, it's more difficult. It's more of an endeavor to be Krishna conscious when you're living out there surrounded by karmis and you're here surrounded by devotees. It's more difficult. No doubt about it. It's more difficult. What's the difference you feel? Let's say you're riding on a bus in downtown Copenhagen with karmis. How easy to remember Krishna then, or how easy to remember Krishna when you're sitting here in the temple? Isn't there a big difference? Isn't there? So, as Krishna says, Sangat Sangayate Kama, one's consciousness is developed according to one's association. So the more we can associate with devotees, that gives us more and more strength. If somebody's living 50 miles away, they should have their own, they should be preaching and cultivating their own devotees from their surrounding area and make a center in their home. They're living 15 miles from the temple. They have a program every Wednesday night, and then on Sunday bring all your people into Copenhagen for the temple, the Sunday feast. This way we should really be working together concertedly. You see, one violin player playing by himself, it's all right. You have a whole symphony orchestra. Wow! See? So we have to be a symphony orchestra, not little solo violinists. You see, symphony orchestra. If we're going to take over the world, we have to be a very tight-knit organization. Our mission is to take over the world, Mataji. We want to inspire the whole world to join this movement. We have to be together. See, we're seeing how the social order is disintegrating in the material world. So the ISKCON social order has to be more integrated than the Karmi society. We have to be very, very integrated worldwide society under our GBCs, you see. Our temple presidents, our regional secretaries, our initiating gurus, our senior devotees. We need to be very, very tight-knit family working together concertedly. And if we do that, there will be dynamic transformations going on this globe. Counteract the disintegrating influence of Kali. Okay? Yes.
I just want to ask a question like this, but sometimes we see also that devotees inside the temple, they're so much in their own small world. So that
a little hard of hearing. So devotees.
Sometimes we see that those who live inside the temple, that they're in their own small world.
Devotees live in the temple, live in their own little tiny bubble.
Yeah, sometimes, and then when visiting devotees come or congregation, they don't feel welcomed enough, or they don't feel it like that it's their home, or they don't feel that the atmosphere is created like this.
You say a devotee in the temple is living in his own little world, and some guest comes, he stays in his own little world. He doesn't open up
not
his
talk
heart
to them or not welcome them.
Okay, what's the question?
I'm
aware of the phenomenon. Now what's the question?
So, what to do about that?
Well, you have to be an example. You see? If you want to establish a higher standard, then you be the higher standard. And show everyone how ecstatic it is to be the higher standard. You see what I'm saying? You have to be the change that you want to make. You be the revolution you want to make. You be the revolution. And devotees will see how much nectar you're tasting, and they'll be envious, and they'll follow you. Because they're realizing you're getting more nectar by being an outgoing, friendly, open-hearted person. You're tasting more nectar than me. Well, I think I'm going to follow your footsteps, Prabhu, because I'm miserable, but I see that you're overflowing with ecstasy. You see what I'm saying? That's how to do it. Now we got some questions coming in from our internet attendees. Let's see who we got here first in the queue. This is from South India. Harikatadas, my disciple in South India. What about the devotees of Jagannath, Balaram, and Subhadra keeping at home? They're also a higher standing than Gaura-Nitai. So I don't recommend Jagannath, Balaram, Subhadra, or Radha Krishna. Devotees are living far away, they want to have deity worship. I recommend Gaura-Nitai deities, not Jagannath, Balaram, Subhadra, or Radha Krishna, because that's a higher standard. You have to be more strict in your standards. Nandavardhana from Australia. Thank you for your mercy. Just Krishna's arranging a chance to preach at work. The same exact point you mentioned at the start. I felt so joyed the first time they saw and felt Prabhupada's books. All glories to you. Okay, this is another question. Okay. Are they not more merciful than deities of Radha Krishna? I don't know that that's stated that Jagannath is more merciful than Radha Krishna. I don't know that. Although they're known for being accepting worship from the low class.
Jagannath is more merciful.
Huh?
Jagannath is more merciful.
He's known for being more merciful, but the most merciful is Gaura-Nitai. Okay. Padmamalini from India. If there are offenses in worshipping pictures as well, yes, you can be offensive towards a picture also. By, putting it in a dirty place, for example. Pictures have to be respected. As far as offering arti and bhogya, the picture is not going to be, picture is very lenient. The picture of Radha Krishna is different from deities. If you're just worshipping offering arti to a photograph of Radha Krishna, that's not the same as worshipping deities of Radha Krishna. It's not a high standard that we have to follow strict rules and regulations to worship a photograph. So you can worship if you don't have to have deities at all. You can just worship photographs. Not necessary to have. In the early days of ISKCON, we only had photographs. Even in the temples, we only had photographs. In our Dallas temple, we just had a painting of the Panchatattva. They had a painting. In our Austin temple, we had a little, it was this big, about maybe 2 inches by 3.5 inches, cut out from Bhakti Gaudiya magazine. That was our altar. A little black and white cutout of the Panchatattva, that big. That was our altar. And we were in ecstasy with Vishnujan Swami. I can tell you, we were swimming deep in the ocean of nectar with Vishnujan Swami, but our altar was so little simple. And we were a full-on program. We had 7 classes a day. Went on Harinam and book distribution. Well, it was BTG distribution, then we didn't do books. We didn't realize we could distribute books in those days. So only Bhakti Gaudiya. Nobody did get more than a quarter. Only Bhakti Gaudiya magazines were distributed in those days. The devotees didn't realize that we could do books. No one's going to buy these books. In fact, I was called the book distributor because I was putting the books on consignments in bookstores. I was called the temple book distributor. No one knew we could distribute books, and only Bhakti Gaudiya for 25%. But magic happened, and the whole revolution, book distribution revolution came in. Devotees in San Francisco were coming back from Harinam one day. We used to call it Sankirtan, it wasn't called Harinam. That was Sankirtan, chanting and dancing in the streets. They're coming back from the Sankirtan, they ran out of gas, and they didn't know what to do. How are we going to pay for the gas? So they had a Krishna